This is Diana and welcome to my kitchen. Today we are going to make meatballs. These meatballs are great for any kind of sauce that you want to use them in. You can make a brown gravy sauce, or you can use them for a stroganoff sauce, or even a tomato sauce. I always like to make up some meatballs ahead of time and freeze them. And then whenever I'm in a hurry, I have something that I can prepare. So let's get started with the ingredients. Okay, today we are making a basic meatball, one meat meatball. Sometimes we make a 3-meat meatball, which is veal, ground beef, and pork. But today we're just using the ground beef. So we have 2.5 pounds of ground beef. We have 1 onion finely chopped, 2 eggs, 1 cup of Italian breadcrumbs, a half a cup of half and half our milk. We use 8 garlic cloves chopped and 1 tablespoon of Italian seasoning. And then we have a little secret ingredient that my son has brought into our lives, and he always adds about a half a cup of Parmesan Reggiano cheese. So let's get mixing. Okay, this is how we're going to add our ingredients. You kind of want to mix the dry, I guess you call them dry ingredients, the onions first. And then your garlic. This way when you start mixing, now of course I've washed my hands real good, and we're going to add the Italian seasoning, and then the Parmesan cheese, and then we're going to add a little pepper to your taste, kind of. Okay, and we're going to start mixing this. Oops. Now we're going to add, blend that in a little bit so it's kind of mixed in with your meat. See? Okay, now we're going to put our milk in. Kind of want to mix all your wet ingredients in first, because in that way when you're putting your breadcrumbs, you'll know how much to add to your meat, how dry it is. Let's put in our egg. Okay, you can see how we've got this all blended together now. All the spices and the onions and our milk, and now we're going to add the breadcrumbs. And we're just going to add a little bit at a time. That way, as we see it blend together, we know how much to add. Sometimes a little less, sometimes a little bit more. So let's just put some of these breadcrumbs in here, and we're going to mix that together, because you want it to get to a consistency that it'll stick together when you start making your meatballs. Now you can see that we've basically got our meat to the consistency that we want, and there's 3 ways you can cook these. You can cook these in a fry pan with oil. You can cook them in a bake sheet in the oven at 425 degrees, and then you just keep an eye on them and turn them every so often until they get brown. or you can put them in a broiler and fry them basically but this way you're not using any grease. Now my son and I are trying to cut down on a lot of oils and fat, so we've been doing under the broiler. And so let me get our pan and we'll start rolling these and let you see how it looks like that. Okay, now we have our pan that we're going to broil these in. We're going to broil them. And so we're going to put a little bit of oil down on our pan and we're going to brush it all over the pan. Or you can use olive oil spray or any kind of a spray oil if you want. Or you can use a paper towel to rub these around. But just spread some oil around so that we're not cooking it in too much oil. So there we go. I think that's great. Okay, so we have all the oil down on our pan. Now we're going to make our meatballs. And so you're going to, you can make them any size you want to. I happen to like them sort of medium. So you just kind of want to roll them, flat them, and then roll them to make them nice and firm. Take a little bit of meat, make it flat, and then start rolling it with your hands. Again, take a little bit of meat, kind of make it flat like that, then start rolling it into a ball. All right, now you can see that we have all of our meatballs rolled, and we have, well, my son helped me with these, and he made some tiny little ones here, because those are taste testers for him. He's always done that since he was a little boy. But now we're going to broil these, and you can fry them, and you can bake them. But they're still always going to look the same. You always want to make sure that they're brown. We're going to put them in the broiler, get the top part brown, then we're going to take them out, turn them over, and get the back side brown. And if you were baking them, you would do the same thing. You would bake them at about 425 degrees for a half hour, then check them and turn them over. And if you're frying them, of course, you're right in front of them, and you just put some oil in a pan, make sure it's hot before you add your meatballs, and put each one of your meatballs in, fry them on all sides, and then add them to whatever you're going to add them, or take them out and freeze them. So let's get these into the broiler, and we'll come back and show you what they look like. Okay, we have our meatballs in the broiler, and you want to keep an eye on them. It'll probably take about 5 or 10 minutes, but you do want to keep an eye on them. And we'll bring them out and show you when they're brown. Okay, our meat's brown on the top. Richard, can you zoom in and show them how the meat should look? Okay, now we're going to turn them over. Now you can see our meatballs are done, so we want to get them off the hot tray so that they don't, all this grease. And we're going to put them in our bowl here so the grease doesn't stick to them. Okay, now we have our meatballs out of the pan, and we're going to, this is the time that let them cool for a while, and then we will freeze them. Now, if you have a vacuum sealer, you can use your vacuum sealer to freeze them, or if you don't have that, you can use your Ziploc bags, put a straw in it, try to get as much air out as possible, and put them in the freezer and use them for any sauce that you want to use them for later on. But we'll be right back because you know we have to taste test them. Our meatball, And like I said, that you can use it with brown gravy or tomato sauce. And you can go to CookingWithDiana.com or YouTube.com/CookingWithDiana to get more recipes for sauces to use with your meatballs. So now let's try one and see how it tastes. Let me try another one just to make sure I'm right. The garlic, the onion, the cheese, all these flavors blended together. It's delicious. Well, I hope you enjoyed your time in my kitchen, and I hope you enjoy the meatball recipe. Remember to give me a thumbs up, comment me, and subscribe. And remember, the recipe will be in the subbar below. Bye.
Hi guys, as always, I put 3 videos up top. Give it a click, it'll take you to that video. And then there's a subscribe button, the Make My Mommy Smile button. Please give it a click, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.